Hello people who cannot sit at home, thank you so much for being here. We are at Watkins Glen and this is located about 5 hours from Toronto. It is in New York State. It's a beautiful, beautiful gorge that I'm gonna show you all about, gonna take you through it. It took us about 2 hours to experience everything, but you can do faster if you don't want to take photos. So let's go. By the way, for this video, I decided I'm gonna join everything together. This is basically our whole road trip, starting from Watkins Glen, then we're gonna go check out the most awesome glass museum, and then we're gonna go to Rochester. So over here we are crossing the border from Canada, from Toronto, and we use the Levington, I think, bridge. That's not the Rainbow Bridge, because the Rainbow Bridge, if you go online and look it up, the times, it was packed. So the first stop after we crossed the border was Trader Joe's. Actually, this turned out to be an amazing idea because I wasn't sure if we had the time. What we ended up doing here is getting a lot of road trip snacks. Over here I'm showing you all the ones we absolutely loved, and overall I find Trader Joe's a great stop for just, you know, snacks and food. And I also got some of their bags, which are very funky and cool. By the way, try to arrive to Trader Joe and to the border as early as you can in the morning, because the later you get in there, the more, you know, crazy it gets, the more amount of people. And here's during the car ride. So the buffalo jerky was amazing, and those hold the cone were really great too. So here's me enjoying the jerky. Of course, as a Canadian, we do love checking out Dunkin' Donuts. Here they had a lot of merch. I was surprised, never seen that. And I've noticed that they had the avocado toast with bacon on top. It was actually a really nice snack. The avocado didn't really taste fully like avocado, but it was pretty yummy. And I also got a nice tea over there. So over here we're getting to the Watkins Glen town, and of course Watkins Glen State Park. It is absolutely amazing. You have to check it out.
All 19 waterfalls are. Once you get to Mile Point Bridge, that's the last waterfall. You don't have to go any further.
Perfect.
Take the trail to the right.
Here are some instructions from the local gentleman. He's basically telling us to go one way and then go and kind of turn around and go above the gorge. This over here is kind of the beginning of it. There are 19 waterfalls. This is a really, really beautiful area. It used to be like a romantic resort in 1863. It used to be a very popular destination, and it is obviously still very popular. It's sort of like natural cliffs, gorge, glen, whatever you want to call it. The price of it is actually, we only paid for the parking, so that was $10 for our car, and that was it. So I guess the entry is free. There was no fee, and then you get to hike, and this is a fairly long hike. A lot of it is up and down. I wouldn't say it's very physically hard, but do make sure to wear really comfortable shoes. Do make sure to kind of, you know, have snacks if you want to. By the way, they did not have a bathroom anywhere in there, which was a bit of a surprise to me. But to be honest, we were so in awe of everything that that kind of wasn't an issue at all. Wow. A little bit reminded me of the Arizona canyons, but of course this has water. This has a river down there, which I think is even more pretty. And a lot of times, by the way, you're walking and you have the rocks above you, which is really cool. Over here is one of the waterfalls, just doing a time lapse, and here's me kind of walking behind the waterfalls. Yes, you can literally walk behind the waterfalls. You get a little, you know, a little bit of the drizzle, but it's really not bad. I also really enjoyed going through like the caves, all of the areas in the mountains. It was very beautiful. Over here is a really cool bridge that later on we're actually going to be on in a second when we go back. Everything was really interesting. I wouldn't say that there is beginning or the middle or the end that was the most prettiest. Everything was gorgeous. The issue was a bit of water on the path. Definitely wear, if you have sort of like, waterproof shoes, that would be great. Though it may be because of the weather, that was the day before, it was a bit of a rain before, so some of it was a little muddy. And over here we are at the Rainbow Falls. Definitely gorgeous area, and it's one of the main stops. In terms of people, there were people in there. I think we arrived at about 2 o'clock because it took us a while to get here from Toronto. And it actually wasn't that bad, like it wasn't too busy. So it's been an hour and 18 minutes of a hike. We're getting slowly tired, but it's so exciting. By the way, you can definitely do this much faster if you just straight shoot, but why would you? You want to take all of the photos. So yeah, there's still more to come, and we still need to do the other side. It says over here frowning cliff. I guess somewhere in here maybe there's a face that's frowning. I was looking around, I didn't see. If anybody knows, write it down below. And over here, as we were passing by, this artist was doing some work, and we kind of just asked what she was painting, and it was just a really lovely interaction. And at this point, at this bridge, we have reached the end of what the gentleman in the beginning suggested to us. This is called Mile Point. I'm guessing at this point this is a mile of us walking from the beginning, and he suggested to go upstairs over there and kind of return to the entrance. You can continue walking further, but from what I understood, this was like the best of it was already done. Now we can head back, and our car was parked, of course, at the beginning of the entrance, so we wanted to get back to our car to kind of continue with our day. I did not enjoy the walk on the way back. It was no frills, there was nothing to see. Like, you see barely anything over here, and maybe over here these rocks were kind of fun, but it's just a path to literally just go back. You can theoretically take the same path that you went to get here back, but I think that they kind of don't love when you do that because of the flow of the people. And here's, by the way, the bridge that I mentioned, which was actually cool. So I guess there are a few spots that are interesting, but I, for some reason, thought that the path back would be also scenic, which it was not, at least not to me. And it also was a lot of steps, specifically downwards. It's funny, but my calves actually hurt for about 3 days after. So over here we are at the Watkins Glen Harbour Hotel. It's a beautiful hotel. Highly recommend you stay in there. There's 4 of us, so we booked the 2 queen bed, which was actually, I want to say, slightly under $500. So it's not exactly cheap accommodation, but it's beautiful accommodation. Here's the room. Here is the view. The view is only onto the town, but they also have rooms with the view onto the marina, which is more beautiful. But those rooms are only for 2 people. At least everything else was booked. The bathroom was huge. We had a jacuzzi, we had a shower over here, 2 sinks, so definitely perfect for family or, 4 people just like we were. And if you would like to book this hotel, I'm gonna put the link to it down below. And over there was a gorgeous picture of the Watkins Glen Park in the winter. So here we are going to Nichols Pit Barbecue, and it turned out to be an amazing place. So over here they have the barbecue mess plate, which is their garbage plate. Garbage plate is a thing in Rochester, and I guess Watkins Glen as well. It's basically everything kind of dumped onto the plate. And then we got nachos, when we got the ribs over there, and we got the onion rings, which were huge. They were ginormous. So why the garbage plate? I read about it. I thought it was really fun idea to try. Over here, me just showing you the size of the onion rings, which by the way were really great. So I thought the garbage plate was a fun idea to try. My family thought it was kind of disgusting, but I still got it, and let me tell you, everybody loved it. Like, I think at the end, my brother said that that was the best out of all of the 4 things that we ordered. And it actually was so huge that we saved it and we did the takeout. Great restaurant. The music also outside was lovely. Then we explored the Watkins Glen town a little bit. This is their logo of the Finger Lakes. Over here is the Finger Lakes, New York. I love the patches. I actually collect the patches of the places I've been to, so I got that as a souvenir. And then we checked out the pricings. All of my Canadians, oh, look at those pricings. 189,000 for a house, 399 for a beautiful, oh gosh, gorgeous house. Anyway, prices are much better. 49,000 for a house. Gosh, what kind of house is that for 49,000? So yeah, pretty cool. So then we stumbled upon one of those London phone booths, and it had different pamphlets of the Watkins Glen area, which I thought was so cool. Like, I've never seen it being used in such a clever way. This is next morning. I loved how the Watkins Glen Harbour Hotel had tea and coffee, and Starbucks, by the way, coffee on each floor, and just for you to take. That was such a nice touch. So over here we went to Toby's Donuts, and they are of course known for their donuts, and in the morning they are nice and fresh. This was literally next kind of to the hotel. Really well rated and really well known place. And actually they had full-on breakfast, and we ordered breakfast here. My family is hilarious. They all have to take photos before eating anything, of course. And yeah, that's just how we are. And we also like to split things that everybody tries, and so that we keep the sugar at a minimum. And here we have the breakfast. It was fairly generic breakfast, good, nothing, you know, I liked it. It's just regular, fairly regular breakfast. And then we said goodbye to the marina. This is the marina, by the way. A really beautiful view. The name of this lake, by the way, is Seneca Lake. And here's a look at our hotel. It's gorgeous. Now we're kind of heading out of Watkins Glen. We checked out this winery. The name of this winery is Castle Gritch Winery. I'm gonna also link it down below. This was really early in the morning, and the winery was actually still closed, but we knew that they have like a whole theme park of all of these animals, and I just wanted to check it out. We didn't actually get out of the car, we just kind of drove around. They had like a ginormous dragon. Definitely a cool place to stop over and probably have a drink if you have the time. So we kind of continued on our way. We knew that this day is going to be full on rain. This is like the whole day was rain. But even rain or no rain, we knew that we wanted to check out Corning Museum of Glass. The only thing that we had to do is rearrange the Watkins Glen with Museum of Glass. We had to swap the days. So also think about that when you're planning this trip. Make sure that on the best day you go to Watkins Glen, and on the rainy day you go to the Museum of Glass. Over here in the lobby you get the Chihuly, gorgeous sculpture, and the museum is beautiful. I'm actually in shock, I never heard about it.
Glass makers, think of your spoonful of soup losing heat before the bowl full of soup. If the glass ever gets too cold too quickly, it will undergo thermal shock and crack and break of the bubble, but we can pinpoint.
The museum was opened in 1951, and I think it has like 50,000 glass works. It is huge. We needed, I think we were there for 2.5 hours. They have different presentations. Whoa. Glass blowing, they have glass breaking, then just a lot of cool kind of knowledge about glass. Perfect for kids, perfect for adults. Very, very well done. Very aesthetically pleasing. Over here they have like contemporary glass art and all of these sausages, sculpture of sausages. Very nice. They have kind of sections. They have the contemporary, then they have more of like the classical stuff, then they have an exhibit that I think is only at a certain time. I'm going to show you in a second. It's really cool. Here is, I think it's a cat made out of glass. I love cats. This is the exhibit, Kaleidoscope. As I understand, this is two brothers. They are originally from Mexico, but they immigrated to US. And you can see in their artwork that they have like the elements of kind of like Mexican heritage. Over here is a really cool sculpture. As you come close to it, it becomes redder. And here is the Blown Away 4. I actually watched this show. I enjoy watching Blown Away. It's if you haven't checked it out, usually on Netflix, it's a show about glass blowing. It's like a competition. I remember watching these guys. Some of the stuff that's exhibited over here I actually remember. This is really cool. Really enjoyed that. As you can see over there, the lineup was already huge. I think it was about 1 p.m. that we were kind of needed to head out. We then went to gift shop and oh my gosh, look at all of these things. You can buy them, you can touch them. Well, carefully, of course. Beautiful, like the whole gift shop is glass. This is a Cheeto made out of glass. You can use it as a Christmas ornament. I got stuck in all of these kaleidoscopes. I haven't done this since I was a kid. And then I saw this and I was like, what the heck is this? It's rectangular. And then it also was a kaleidoscope. Over here, if you turn it, look how gorgeous. Oh, I should have bought this. As you can see, lots of gorgeous stuff. Anything you can possibly want. Prices were reasonable. I wouldn't say it's outrageous. These are beautifully curated pieces, so of course they cannot be cheap, but also I think these flowers were somewhere in like $20 range. Very reasonable. And over here is a unicorn poop. I loved it. I considered buying it, but again, I don't know if I need it. So then we checked out All These But Goodies, which is sort of on the way now to Rochester. It is an antique market. I wouldn't say it's a huge antique market, but it's adorable, and on the way there, definitely worth a visit. They had a number of things. They had the uranium glass over here. I'm fascinated by uranium. If you watched my stuff before, you've probably seen me showing these. So they have like the light, dark light, so you can see it even better. Love that. Then they had a booth with Taylor Swift merch. Very adorable. And I love this. So they at first look like real thing, but these are candles, $30. It's just so lifelike. I was amazed. I was impressed. And of course, as this is America, there were a lot of American elements, a lot of flags, which is kind of cool to see. This is not something we see, of course, in Canada, so that was nice. So now we're heading to Kishawa Creamery.
Ashley Sterling's out of Michigan, and I also had a light.
I have heard about this online, that they are really famous and they do some amazing stuff. The choice was insane. I've never seen so much choice of ice cream and shakes. But one of the main things that we did want to try is the frozen custard. If you've never tried it, it's very interesting. It's different taste than ice cream. I would say it's more creamier. It's definitely a little bit heavier, very sweet and very smooth. And I also got a really cool, very Instagrammable milkshake that I really enjoyed. So over here, this is School 31 Lofts. Yes, we are actually sleeping in a school this night. I have heard about this refurbished school, I don't know where. I feel like I've watched a TikTok or YouTube about it, and I wanted to check it out. So it used to be an old school, then I think it was a college. Now I think the third floor are the lofts, but the second floor they still film. They essentially create like a show that's set, as I understand, in school. Over here you can see that there is like an upstairs loft, and then we have the bed downstairs, so it's perfect for 4 people. The bathroom was really cool. Over here, again, jacuzzi and a shower. Definitely very interesting loft. Definitely very cool to check out. Oh, no way! That's so cool! Then we realized that all of these things, if you lift them, whatever's drawn on them, that's what's inside. So over here is just like a hanger for the clothes. And over here, I think they had a microwave picture, and that was the microwave. We kind of tested out and opened everything, which was fun. I had to climb upstairs and check out the bedroom. You could sit up here, but you of course cannot stand up. It was a bit of a challenge to go up and down because of this corrugated steps. I wish they were a little easier on the feet. But my brother and his fiance said they did enjoy the loft upstairs. It was very comfortable. Very cool loft indeed. As you go outside, the whole kind of hallway is also outfitted. It has some of the exposed brick. It has, of course, the elements of the school. They have a theme of like travel, and they also have like a station, subway station tiles. I think they got them from various subway stations in America, because some of them are like the local, some of them are from, I know there was like I think there was a New York map. There was a phone that I had to, make a call, of course. And sneak peek into the other lofts. And another lovely touch by these guys is that they left so many snacks for us completely free of charge, which was nice. They also left some fuzzy drinks and a bottle of wine. Ridiculous. Loved it. Definitely, if you're in Rochester, this is the place to stay at. Amazing. I'm gonna, of course, put down the link of this loft in the description below. So over here we kind of explored the park that's right across from the loft. Garden of Memorial Art Gallery, which is literally right across from the School 31 lofts. Very cool. You can definitely also do the art gallery. This was already very late, so we just wanted to look around. Over there was actually wedding photography happening. And here we found this area, again, very walkable from the lofts. This was Selena's Mexican, and we just wanted to get some tacos. The place was very nice. The food was also very nice. The service was not the best. It was very long, but overall, not a bad place. Here we are back at our school, and we figured out that the screen actually pulls down. They also have a TV over there, by the way. And we watched one of the episodes that's actually filmed in the school, which was so cool. And then we just watched some of the Rochester, best things to do, because of course we are in Rochester, so we need to figure out what to do the next day. And here is the morning of the next day. Highland Park Diner is a fairly famous diner in the city. We literally were there for the opening, and we were the first ones in, and as soon as we sat down, I kid you not, maybe in the next like 15 minutes, all of the seats were taken, like everything. It was crazy. Established in 1986. I asked if this is like a train. They said that this was made to look like a train, but it's not a train, so that was interesting. Here's the food. We got the banana French toast and lobster eggs Benedict. My brother got this funky looking plate with like gravy on top that looked like oatmeal, and at first I was like, I don't know if this is gonna taste good. That tasted so good. Actually, everything tasted really good. Now we are going downtown Rochester, just kind of drive by, see what's here. Some of the architecture is definitely really beautiful. We didn't really stop over, we kind of just drove to kind of get the feel of it. And here is that platform that has the most beautiful view of the High Falls. Definitely gorgeous, and also just a general nice view of the city. And then even the rainbow showed up. I love that.
Oh no, it's gone, it's gone!
This is called Warner Castle. This was built in 1854, and it's a residence modeled after a Scottish castle. We did not go inside, we just kind of walked around. It's beautiful on the outside, totally free to just check out. And here's the inside yard, also very beautiful. Definitely perfect place for like some wedding photography or just any kind of photography. And just a really gorgeous garden with some beautiful flowers. So the next place we had to check out in Rochester is the Lamberton Conservatory. The entry was like something like $3 or even less. And it's a beautiful conservatory, perfect place if you're there off season or it's raining. But what surprised me the most is that they had so many animals. So they had turtles. Turtles were everywhere. They were kind of walking the path. You have to watch out, make sure not to obviously step on them. This buddy was enjoying the grass. So they really like fully roam free over here. Then we saw a bunch of quails, and there were so many of them. There were babies, there were big ones. They are so adorable. Also definitely watch out for them. but they were the cutest things ever. It actually distracted us from the plants, from like the actual greenery of the place, which was also really beautiful. They had sections over here, no turtles past this point, and you have the cacti kind of section. But what's funny is that you also have different turtles in this section as well. So I think they just have their own kind of separate homes. By the way, the cacti area was gorgeous. You can also, of course, take photos. And here is the other turtles I was mentioning. Beautiful rain chain. I'm fascinated by rain chains as of late. I really need to get one of them for myself. And some beautiful, beautiful flowers. This was the coolest conservatory I've ever been to. So casual. There was nobody else other than us, and so many cool animals. And to add the cherry on top, outside they have like a little courtyard, and they had baby ducks. It's just so cute. I can't. And to be honest, we had very little time in Rochester, so let me show you other things you should consider if you're in Rochester. George Eastman Museum looks beautiful. Just look at this kind of estate feel. Definitely very historic and gorgeous. Memorial Art Gallery, I already mentioned, very cool, very close to if you're staying in the Lofts 31. It seems like a really classical, beautiful museum. The Strong National Museum of Play over here. It's all about play. This is perfect for kids, probably for adults as well. I didn't personally have interest, but looks very cool. House of Guitars looks fantastic. So many guitars. If you're into music, you have to check it out. Nerdvana is basically a place where you can eat but also play a lot of games and a lot of like vintagey games. I've seen a couple of videos about it. Looks very cool. The Playhouse over here, very similar to Nerdvana. There's games, there's like arcade games, but it's a bar, and it's also located in an old church. Very cool. And the last but definitely not the least is the Nick Tao's Hots. This, as I understand, he has trademarked the garbage plate over here. So if you want to try the most authentic garbage plate, this is where you need to go. Over here is Ontario Beach Park. Overall, it was weird to me that there's Ontario in another city, like Ontario, the Lake Ontario. Am I the only one who feels that way? Like, I almost feel like Ontario Lake belongs to Toronto, which is absolutely ridiculous. I understand that. Please don't come for me in the comments about that. But it's just like this city is also based on Ontario, just like Toronto, except it's on the other side. And what's funny is that the Ontario felt very different here. Like, you can even see waves over there. It was more windy. It almost felt sort of like an ocean. So over here we are kind of heading on our way back towards Niagara Falls, kind of getting back to Canada. We stopped over here, and I was very confused at first. So over here they have boiled peanuts, except that they are boiled in a shell, and they have Cajun flavor over here. I'll be honest, I wanted to try it, but the smell of it, I couldn't. I really couldn't. If you have tried this before, let me know your thoughts about peanuts boiled in the shells. Apparently, it actually draws out the nutrient, and it's the healthier way of eating peanuts, but the smell of it was just not for me. And over here, another piece of, I guess, Rochester, New York State culinary experience. This is called White Hot Dog, and it's composed of a combination of uncured and unsmoked pork, beef, and veal. And the lack of smoking or curing allows the meat to retain a naturally white color. Very interesting taste. If you're ever in New York State, you need to try it out. And over here, we are literally across from Canada, all of us kind of taking photos. This is right across from Niagara-on-the-Lake. If you know, you know, because a lot of times I take photos from the other side. This is the Niagara River. So over here is Canada. We are still on the state side, and that's the end of our trip. If you enjoyed this, please subscribe, like, and share, and I will see you next time.